One more question from Simon. He wants to know when God said to Abraham, God said he'll take 10 and I'll spare the city. Oh, he said to Lot, if there's 10 righteous people in the city, he'll spare the city. He says, I know God would make a point to many, but apart from that, would he make a point to just one person if that person was his friend? First of all, we'll get Solomon. Solomon says that it is indeed a rare privilege to be called a friend of God. Like I said earlier in the questions before, so many people come to God with what they want, and they have a list of demands, and they love God or Jesus according to their desires. They want to be rich, they want to be wealthy, they want a good wife, they want a good job, they want to know this, they want to know that, they want to pursue this, they want to pursue God. Very few people pursue God just because He's God, and they want to be close to God, and they want to be God's friend. One time Matthew was sleeping, and Jesus asked him to contact a very popular medium in the United States, and Matthew asked how to do it because he knew Jesus was talking to him even though he was asleep. And Jesus said, just say his name. So he said, Jonathan Edwards, and the medium started speaking to him. Anyway, Matthew gave him a message saying he had to give up his doing medium work, and then at the end of his warning, he woke up, and Jesus asked him, ask me for something, Matthew. You never asked me for anything. And that's true. Matthew's not one to ask Jesus for anything. And such is his relationship. He just talks to Jesus, and he didn't know what to ask. And finally he thought of the verse, and in those days men will see visions, and people will prophesy. And so he said, give me prophetic visions and prophetic dreams. And from that time on he started to see visions, started to have prophetic dreams, but mostly visions. And he's met a lot of saints, and he's met Jesus hundreds of times, and he's met angels and all sorts of things from that request. And so what I'm getting at is it takes a special person to have a special relationship with God for God to actually say, what do you want? So when God asked me, what do you want, Solomon? And I said, wisdom, that was a very special relationship that we had. And so with Lot, when Abraham, it was Abraham, wasn't it? When Abraham was asking God to spare the city, God was totally for it because it was a very close friend of his. And remember, God was going to birth the whole of the Christian world and the Jewish world and even the Muslim world through Abraham, and so he was very special to God. You remember, you'll remember God wanted to smite the Israelites in the wilderness, and Moses stepped in and said, take my name out of the book of life, but don't smite the Israelites. And it said that God repented of what he was going to do. So Moses' opinion of him smiting all the Israelites and starting again through Moses was enough for God to change his mind. So God was, in that stage, was greater than Abraham and Sodom and Gomorrah. God was going to wipe out the whole of Israel. And Moses, a friend of his, corrected him. You'll be interested to know that there's councils in heaven, there's people that sit down in heaven around war rooms and around tables, and they work out what's going to happen in the world and what's going to happen in heaven. They sit down and they plan with God and Jesus what's going to happen on the earth and how things are going to operate. So relationship is very important to God, and when you're a friend of God, you can do great things. And from the state of your questions, it seems that you have a good relationship and a real intimacy and a real hunger for God. And God wants you to know that He loves you. In answer to your question before, whether I'll come down and visit you, God has told me to tell you that I will, and you learn to be a prophet and able to open up your spiritual eyes and spiritual ears, and I'll be able to come down and talk to you face to face, and you won't have to be asking Matthew questions that you want to know. But you've really encouraged Matthew with your questions, and I hope that this was a good answer for you.